Hi everyone, welcome to this message. So right off the bat, channel members, you will have a membership video posted this evening, so definitely check that out. If you are part of the channel memberships because you're watching the High Priestess Tier Manifestation November series, then that is going to post, the next video for that's going to post tomorrow evening. If you're interested in channel memberships, the link for that's in the description box below. If you were interested in the High Priestess Manifestation November, but you weren't able to join us this month, just know that that will stay up on that tier. And you can always go back and you can watch them. So let's see. Okay, I kind of just want to talk about the energy that's happening on a collective level. I'm sure that I'll wind up having to do a message here in a second because I have an incessant group of guides. And it's like a collective energy that's like pushing in on me. But I want to talk about what's happening on a collective level first. Many of you are starting to feel the energy kind of ramp up. And as this energy is starting to ramp up, there's also a shakiness to the energy, right? So you might be getting more motivation for things. You might be finding that certain things in your life are beginning to change, starting to move. You might just be feeling the energy gathering. And the shakiness of energy, many people are going to start noticing that they're having some things happen that normally don't happen, right? So some very off-the-wall things. This might, look like, wow, why would that ever happen? Things like that. Some of you may be hearing not so great news. You may even be having some things happen that kind of want to throw you off your course. Okay, so just be mindful that this happens sometimes before very big changes happen. This is kind of like a restructuring or a reorganization of the energy. Energy doesn't necessarily care about your feelings. Energy doesn't necessarily care about how it affects you and what you care about. Energy does what it has to do. And there's this sort of restructuring of this energy paradigm that's happening that has something to do with next spring. Now, I've been following Soulful Revolution. I've been following her astrology course, and in it she's talking about the outer planets, right? So if you're an astrologer, you'll know about this. The outer planets basically shifting signs, and I do think it has something to do with that. There's something big on a collective level that is starting to shift, and as they're moving, it's almost like tectonic plates, right? A lot of things have to kind of get ground down, and a lot of like disruptive force comes out when things shift. And so this is what's happening. For many of you, you may be experiencing this as like an emotional rawness right now, not really understanding where certain things are coming from or what emotions are happening. And it may even look like life falling apart around you, right? So just be aware that this is part of what's taking place right now. Now I'm going to open up for these guides because this is like invasive. I'm going to call it what it is. It's invasive. Okay, so they're coming forward with a message that someone has recently seen something that they had not previously seen about some aspect of themselves. This feels like some way that a person feels about themselves that they had not previously seen. And they're seeing that this feeling that they have about themselves is something that is perpetuating cycles. I'm not really getting the feeling that someone is continually entering cycles. I actually feel like someone has pulled away from a cycle. And this is what's happening. Now there's some sort of clarity in that distance away from the cycle. So now that you've seen this thing, the message from these guides are basically that there are some, this came out the other day, I think, something about loose ends. There's a little bit of baggage that's wrapped up in here. And for some of you, this may have its ties. Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's ties into like our home, our family. Okay, there's something within our ideas of home and family that have to change. Our value scale. Oh, what is that? It's almost like where we place ourselves on a scale of value that's residual from home and family. And I don't feel that who this message is for, many of you, you've already dealt with that. But there's this like little part of you that may have still clung on to this idea of this type of like lower value in some way. It's almost like it feels, okay, I'm just gonna say how I feel. When I'm stepping in this energy with what they're giving me, it feels like someone here is punishing themselves for some low value that they feel that they have. And this could potentially be because of how they were made to feel as children. So it doesn't have to necessarily be that. It can be somewhere within the vicinity of that, but this is how I'm interpreting this energy, because it's how it feels as I'm stepping into it. So this seems to have perpetuated some kind of drive, whether it's, you know, I want to call that person that's really bad for me, or I want to eat that food that's really bad for me, or I want to just, you know, be a couch potato. There's something here that we don't like about our life, about ourselves, some cycle that we have. And, you know, by the way, to all the couch potatoes out there, I'm not shaming. Shaming. Some of you work some very hard day jobs and you deserve to be a couch potato. Okay, with that being said. But it feels a little bit like somebody seeing something in the relationship with themselves that they had not seen before. Okay, and these guys are coming through because their advice to you is to really be gentle with yourself as you work through that energy. There's something about that energy that is so intrinsically linked into the identity, and whoever this message is for, you're going to know that. You're going to have sense that that in order to be on, there's going to be some moments of really having to be honest with yourself about something, and you may find that that's actually very difficult. And it's because it's such a part of yourself that's so vulnerable that there are layers of protection built around it, okay? I'm going to advise that anybody who has a really hard time working with this energy, find a professional that can help you, right? It's just like a marriage. You got to find the right one. But there's something here about this intense state of vulnerability that diving into this energy is bringing up for somebody. Okay. Your guides want you to know that this is the way to clear this up. This is the way to basically clear up. I'm not feeling just one cycle. It feels like a bunch of cycles, a lot of patterns inside of your life. We have the collective of pixies, which are speaking about freedom, freeing ourselves from something. So whatever it is that someone has just gotten into, it's like the taproot, right? You've discovered the taproot. And now once you discover that, you can pull the weed out without it regrowing. So I don't know what this is speaking to. It's going to be different for everybody. But again, it relates to some feeling that someone has just recognized that they have about themselves that stems from a much earlier time. Now, there is this sort of emphasis on the heart energy in this reading. And the reason why is because the middle card here with the honesty card, it's green. So the sort of sense of honesty is probably something that you've craved inside of your life from other people. The type of honesty that we're looking for other people, it's something that we have to give ourselves first. And so this is one of the reasons why this energy is coming out now. You're likely somebody who has asked for a higher caliber of people to enter your life, right? So the self is recognizing that request and is navigating you to it. But in order to get you to it, you have to see this and you have to clear this out first. This is really bringing me back into the energy that I kept getting for a few readings about that plug being pulled out of like a drain, right? So someone here, it's like you may be noticing that you're processing a lot of things after this realization. Certain things may start making sense as to why you interact with the outside world in the particular ways that you do. With this collective of pixies, I do feel like there is something celebratory that may be taking place, or there's something that you're at least looking forward to while all of this is happening. So that's kind of interesting. It's almost like there's a path, or there's a goal, or there's something that we're looking forward to, and that's kind of hey, like, you know, she or he wants to do this, they want to do this, so let's go ahead and let's show them this down here so they can get that out of the way, right? It's kind of that feeling. And again, this goes back to some sort of baggage, some sort of loose end that needs tied up before we can proceed. I feel that the reason why this guide collective is coming forward with this while I'm talking about these energies shifting is because there's a massive energy about to shift in your life too. There's a massive energy that's trying to shift in your life, but it requires this to move so that when the shift does happen, you're not bringing the same patterns with it. This almost feels like clean slate energy, really cultivating a clean slate going forward. Again, that really big energy that I feel is really changing, it's going to be taking place sometime in the spring, like March or April. I feel it sometime in there. I've been talking about that on this channel for about a year now. And, you know, it's almost like who have you become? It's almost like a test. That's how it feels. I hate to use that word, but that's how it feels. It's like a testing moment of who have you become and what have you set up for yourself for this next phase, this next, it feels like a very long phase, if I'm honest. So be sure that if you have recently seen something like this, really dig in there, you know, work on that self-love, work on giving that love to that aspect of yourself or those parts of yourself. Okay, let's see, what else? Okay, they're telling me to go over here. So we shall read from Kim Kranz. Okay. Another one? Another one, okay. Bottom? Goodness, we got 3. Okay, well here, I'll just do this then. So the first one is sublimation. So let's go ahead and okay. So I'm going to read from the book. I just feel like everything she has to say is amazing in this book, so we're just going to read from this. So sublimation is the great alchemical operation of air. It occurs when there is enough heat to change a solid substance into a gas, causing it to rise up, up, and away. And that's kind of what we see here with the collective of pixies, right? This sort of energy that something is becoming illuminated now, and now that it's becoming illuminated, there is some heat to it. This is not an easy energy at all. So whoever this message is for, you're kind of going to be going through it as you're recognizing this energy, but this that's processing, right? That's what's allowing it to leave your life. Therefore, when sublimation is present, there is an aspect of celebrated elevation, of ascending above and gaining a greater perspective. Birds in flight, mountain peaks, ladders, and balloons are all sublimatio images, so pay attention to your dreams. You may be experiencing some of those. As with all the operations, sublimatio has a shadow potential. Through ascension, there is a risk of separating from others, of sensing oneself higher or above. This risk is particularly great in spiritual traditions that offer a linear model of achievement. The divine alchemist rises humbly and supports the upliftment of others, always in touch with the cycle of humanity. Service is the natural balancing agent for sublimatio. It may be the next rung on your ladder. So as you're going through this process and you're giving yourself that sort of love, it can be good to ask yourself, in what ways has there been a counterbalance? In what way has there been another extreme? Are there ways inside of your life where you look down on the practice of others, or you look down on others and, you know, think that they are less than in some way? So there's a difference between being able to see behind the illusion of things and trying to gently correct that illusion, and then demanding that people change their view, right? Or feeling that people are stupid because they don't know this or they don't know that. So that's one of the warnings about this card. So here we have Pluto, and I'm going to, let's see. Where'd you go? Where'd I go? Okay. The underworld power compulsion. So again, somebody's diving pretty deep here. Pluto's realm is one of the deep and undeniable power. Known as the planet of the underworld, Pluto has a captivating effect that pulls us into its depths, leading to all things excessive and Dionysian in nature. Images of the resurrection, possession, the sacred heart, birth, sex, and death are all symbols of Pluto's volatile energy. When this card shows up, know that everything will be amplified as though it's through a live wire. It's all about power and maybe even addiction. Though Pluto's force field can be ruthless, this tiny planet pushes us towards necessary growth. When we follow its mesmerizing pulse, we are taken into the depths to be changed. There's no point in pretending the underworld is not at work. Admit that you're in it and find the support you need. Not making it worse is a big accomplishment. And here we have separation. Where am I going? Okay. Separatio is the great alchemical operation of the sword. It occurs when substances are pulled apart for their higher good, either willingly or unwillingly. And so this is kind of what I feel like is happening. We're recognizing this energy and you're being pulled away from it. The fissure may take place suddenly with a swift blow of the axe or slowly over time with a dull blade. No matter how separatio occurs, it will likely be a painful process for all involved. Images of swords and knives, battles, rebellions, breakups, divorce, and atom splitting are expressions of separatio. I do want to say that with this realization about the root of some sort of pattern, in order to end the pattern, it was probably something that took a lot of willpower, a lot of hard work. It could have been, for example, a breakup or a divorce or some sort of addiction. This stage is it releases stagnant energy and allows the parts to see themselves as individuals. This stage is a prerequisite for conjunctio, union with love. Through the pain of separatio, we come to accept and love ourselves as we truly are, and in turn, we love the world. Okay. So let's see. We'll move into her other deck, apparently. Okay, and we have the Hunter. Now, when we see this horse energy, for me, the Hunter is really about this very fast movement towards freedom, okay? Because that's what horses symbolize. They're fast, they move quickly, they move with, lightning speed towards a particular goal. And in this case, horses can also represent freedom. And whoever this message is for, like I said, it's like the energy is moving very quickly. It's moving very quickly to get you away from some sort of pattern that maybe you're still in the danger zone of falling back into, and that's why this has to be seen. This is something that is bringing you deep inside this underworld energy where it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy, right? In order to root these things out, it's not easy. But this is happening so that you'll never have to worry about this pattern again. This is something that's ready to clear out now before you reach that time frame next spring where there's a drastic change that takes place collectively. So I'm going to be honest. I know that this sounds like a heavy reading, but I love this energy. I love this energy because this is the brink of profound change, profound personal change. So I'm gonna leave this here, and whoever this message is for, if it resonates with you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.